Hi everybody, I'm Barbara Ann and welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. This is a TikTok live that I screen recorded the other day. This is Bri, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's friend. She does a live on TikTok. I screen record it. I put it in its entirety on my YouTube channel so people would be able to watch it and see what is said. However, Gypsy Rose Blanchard joins this live and she does some talking for really the first time since giving birth. So I just wanted to go over this and some of these parts with you.
Yeah, you can come in a box. I couldn't imagine treating my followers the way that she does. I care about my followers so fucking much. And to think that she treats them the way like lies to them, and it breaks my fucking heart.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm explaining why I hate Nina.
I understand, but don't let it get to you.
I'm not. It's like it's a good release. It's people need, like, I just want people. I feel like people just need to understand what she did, you know? Like, it was...
What did she do, Bri? What did she do? Show us. Show us the proof. What did she do?
It was never you.
That's a bold
You was
claim.
like, you opened up your... You know, you chose without getting advice or without getting opinion. You chose to go to her woman to woman and just wanted to clear the air and just set some things straight that she was saying, and she took full advantage of that when she realized that she wasn't going to have you in her pocket. And, like, that was when you were, you know, fresh out in the world. And
I don't think that that's how that went. In the spring of 2024, Nina makes her own content about how Gypsy Rose Blanchard reaches out to her and she ends up giving her some advice, taking accountability, and doing things to advocate, push for real change. Not just awareness, not just mentioning it once or twice in an interview, but she gives her some advice, and Gypsy goes on and makes a little short film about, 3 minutes long, talking about how she's taking accountability, but she never really takes any full accountability. So that right there is misinformation. That is a lie. Bri is telling everybody a lie. That's not how that went. She didn't reach out to Gypsy. It was the other way around. And it was because Gypsy was trying to manipulate Nina and her following. And at that time, her following was not as big as it is today. I don't even think she had 200,000 at that time on TikTok alone. And so to sit here and to say that Nina is the one that was doing something wrong and lying, and that essentially she needs to be exposed for something, and she was doing wrong by Gypsy because she found out Gypsy wasn't going to be in her pocket to give her the tea before anybody else. Please anybody that's been following Nina or has watched her stuff knows that that's not true.
Vulnerable and not so guarded, and I feel like that was the beginning of you putting up this wall, which I think it has been
She didn't put up a wall because of Nina. She put up a wall because she realized that there's very intelligent people that are out here in the real world after 15 months have been exposing her lies, and there is nothing she can do to change that narrative. She cannot change people's minds from what they see, what they hear, and what they know to be truth, because trying to sell us a totally different narrative is not going to stick. It's not going to work. Unfortunately, people are not dumb. In fact, some very genius level IQs are out in the normal world and seeing and hearing everything for what it is, as it is, and you cannot sit here and lie to people's faces and expect them to just buy that. Gypsy Rose has put walls up. Gypsy Rose has put walls up because she knows she's a liar, and she cannot change public perception. No matter how hard she tries, she cannot change public perception because she knows it's the truth. She knows she's been caught.
Good thing in some ways, because people will take advantage of you, but
nobody is taking advantage of Gypsy. Name one person. In fact, that's quite the other way around. Gypsy Rose Blanchard has taken advantage of other people to make herself look better, to lessen her culpability in her own crime, to negate, deflect, and self-project. She has done everything to take advantage of others. She did it to her ex-husband, Ryan Anderson. She did it to Nicholas Godejohn, his family. She's done it to her own family. She's done it to mainstream media like HBO and Lifetime, Ben Bella Books, TMZ, until she no longer can control it.
But it breaks my fucking heart. And I hope that Nina isn't someone that I hate one day. I hope that, from me, she really does
the fact that you hate her that much is a symptom of something wrong with you, because hate and love are not opposites of each other. Love and indifference are opposite of each other. The fact that anybody has the capability to have that much hatred in their heart means that there's something deep-seated wrong with you.
Symbolize hate, and I hope one day she doesn't, but it's just the joy that she gets out of it. And I feel,
where do you see that she gets any joy out of any of that? Now, making jokes where jokes need to be made is one thing, but how do you, first of all, really, you gotta put your money where your mouth is. You have to come with receipts. You cannot be sitting here making bold ass claims like that, saying that somebody gets joy out of being so hateful after you just said you're the one that has so much hate in your heart. Don't sit here and project. Come with the actual receipts and the proof and everything, and show us how this person finds so much self-joy in being so hateful towards somebody else. See, you can't because that doesn't exist.
I feel bad, like I said, even for her followers. Like, I've seen the messages, like, where she's like, my followers will believe anything I say. Like, she doesn't really care. She has said it in a video pretty much, like, y'all should never expect stuff from me, or expect.
Now, that part I cannot corroborate or verify. All I know is that what she's talking about is that this creator supposedly messaged a friend. This person was also friends with Bri and also friends with Gypsy at one point as well. And Bri is saying she saw these messages of this person verbatim said that her followers are fucking stupid. They're naive, they're gullible. And the reason why is because she appears and comes across as credible. So they'll believe anything she says, whether it's true or not. Now, Bri is saying that she saw those messages. The person who was at the receiving end of these messages has confirmed to me that this is true, but they don't have it. Now, if Bri saw it, why doesn't she have screenshots or copies of it? Because Bri would have for sure, if she's seen that, she would have herself taken a screenshot of it or a screen recording, and she would be showing that all over the internet for the last 9 months. So I don't know if this is true or if this is just what she is saying is true, because she heard it from somebody else, the same way I've heard it from somebody else. But believe none of which thou hear and only half of which thou see, because everything you hear is hearsay, unless they're coming with the proof. You got to verify, you got to corroborate, you got to show that what you're saying is true.
My time, which no,
and
we
you can't always do that.
But you see, my followers don't expect my time, but I want to give them my time, like, just because they've been so supportive of me, so supportive of you, and I just don't get it. But now people are finally starting to see little by little. But I think that Nina she was a big part of what ruined your chance of people being able to see your heart and see who you are. And I fucking hate that. Because I know you.
Yeah, you know me, and the ones that don't know me.
Could have known you.
No, Bri does not know Gypsy the way that she wants to think that she knows Gypsy. All you know is what she is allowing you to see and know, and what she is making you think that you're closer to her than what you actually are, because she shows you private correspondence between her and other people, and she tells you things that she shouldn't be telling you. She's manipulating you, and mark my words, you will one day see it.
And I think that eventually, maybe the way to make friends, I've never been good at making friends, but I have had people send me really rude messages, and I took the time to message them back, and I wasn't rude, I wasn't snippy, I just had a conversation with them, and they were like, wow, like, we thought you would be not the way you are, you're actually pretty sweet, and I misjudged you.
No, that's not true, because at your baby shower, Gypsy, at the same exact day and time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that you were having your baby shower, that same creator that you guys are shit talking right now and talking about how you hate so much and how she has it out for you and all this shit that just didn't even actually fundamentally happen in real life. And you can go back to Nina's own page, to her own content. If you didn't follow her or don't follow her at the time, then you would see and know that she did very much give her the benefit of it out. She did give her a second chance to prove that she wants to change, and she did so even against what her followers were suggesting to her. And she turns around and even made a video like apologizing to people that, you know, you guys were right. She was trying to manipulate me and my platform. And of course she goes and turns around and shows her private messages between her and Nina to Bri, and then tells Nina in those same messages not to show them to her followers. But she can talk about what's said. No, it's because Gypsy was trying to manipulate her. She was trying to manipulate her into making content that is favorable towards her. And so she wanted to make her believe, look at me, I'm so sweet. She does that to everybody. She tries to make you believe that she's so sweet and she's so innocent. She did that her whole life. She did that when her mom was alive. That's how they got doctors to write in all of these medical records that she's a paraplegic when she's not, because Gypsy was pretending to be a paraplegic. So the medical records are obtained by Social Security, and she gets SSI and SSDI based on the medical records. That's what they were doing. They were getting disability, and her mom was getting disability for herself as well. Gypsy was playing a part of that fraud and that scheme, and Gypsy does the same thing today. She makes people believe that she's this sweet, innocent, really likable, misunderstood human being. At the bottom of it all, she's still a convicted murderer. She's still somebody who committed first-degree premeditated murder under Missouri statute. Anybody over the age of 18 who knowingly causes the death of another human upon deliberation. And she solicited a co-conspirator and an accessory to her crime, who is still going to serve his life in prison, God willing, and has lost his mom due to her actions by proxy. So Gypsy may come across as so sweet and so likable. Yeah, but that's also a facade. You also committed a very heinous crime that you can never come back from. That's all you're ever going to be now.
And that was, the beginning of realizing that if people just took the time to have a conversation with me, so much of what is put out there they can see is a false narrative. But a lot of people don't want to take the time. They just want to believe TikTok drama or whatever is the cool thing to follow at the time.
Well, that's not necessarily true now, is it, Gypsy? Because at your baby shower, I messaged you and I said, hey, is this true? Can you verify, is this true? Did Ken leave you or not? And you never messaged back. Now, I didn't expect you to. I really didn't. But if Nina wasn't telling the truth, why wouldn't you be quick to show me who you really are, or to have a conversation with me one-on-one? I'm one of the nicest people out here in the world, but I'm also one of the most cutthroat. I don't take no shit from nobody, but I'm also not out here being somebody I'm not while I'm over here committing crimes, because that's just not me. I'm not going to sit here and placate somebody and play nice and pretend to be something I'm not, so you think I'm this sweet, innocent person. But I also am one of the most empathetic and one of the most caring people, one of the most sympathetic, one of the most compassionate, because I have survived stage 3 cervical cancer. I'm physically disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome type 1 and type 2, and I have fibromyalgia. So with that said, I have an understanding of life, an appreciation for life that other people don't. However, you never took the time to message me back and to say, oh no, this isn't true at all. Me and Ken are definitely together. This whole rumor that's going around on this TikTok drama about him leaving me and splitting up with me on the day and time of my baby shower is not true. This is all somebody just trying to do us wrong or do us dirty. And you never did that. So don't sit here and say that you have all these haters that you conformed and switched over to being supporters of you because they took the time to talk to you. You do not do that. That is bullshit, and that's a lie. Because I have asked you more than once to corroborate something, and you won't.
And that's just something that I had to pull myself away from. And I'm a lot happier because I did. So, it's not even about Nina. It's not about conspiracy. It's not about any of them. It's
funny that you mentioned those two names. Again. Your two biggest haters and bullies, according to what you say, Gypsy.
It's about the fact that people just don't take the time to explore who I am as a person individually.
Exploring who somebody is as a person individually is not knowing who somebody is in their core. Because somebody that I know deep in their core, I know for a fact. My best friend that I've had since I was in first grade, I know her in her core. I know her soul, I know her heart, I know her mind. And I know that she would never be capable of taking her mother's life. You, on the other hand, nobody can know you because you're hollow and shallow. And you are a copycat that mimics the emotions and even the verbiage and the body language of those around you. You're a chameleon. That's what you are. You can never know a chameleon. All you know is what they're pretending to be.
Absolutely. And if only they did. And that's what I've tried. I mean, I'm not going to say I failed, because I feel like at the end of the day, I mean, the whole world's not going to lean on one side, you know?
No, Gypsy is a liar. We have caught her in lies. We have exposed her lies, and they never stop. They just keep going. And she decided to pull back because she cannot control the narrative anymore, and that's what's bothering her. She cannot control the narrative. Therefore, she cannot control what the public think about her or say about her. The reason why the public have a problem with her is because she did not come out and do anything selfless to help other people, other survivors, or other victims, to really advocate and make change, legislative change, prison reform change, to do something good for incarcerated individuals that are no longer incarcerated, for their transition, to do something positive and proactive and utilize her platforms in a positive and proactive way for other people. She uses them in a very negative way for selfish financial gain, getting paid speeches, paying TMZ, selling pictures to TMZ, selling pictures to People Magazine, all of her paid TV shows, all her paid documentaries, all of it, even getting paid on social media, which she has pulled back from because she's had to. She can't control the public. She cannot control each one of America's 330 million citizens. She cannot control 8 billion humans on planet Earth. She just can't.
Yeah,
but
I'm okay with that. You know, I'm absolutely okay with the fact that people don't. There's some people that don't like me, and that's fine. They're entitled to their opinion.
Right.
I'm not against that. I'm not saying everybody has to love me. So I don't expect that. I mean, that's not realistic.
No, but if only they would have actually gotten. I think that's what. I mean, I think you have some really amazing supporters that, because it wasn't as large of a group because of the world we live in, I think that you got to know them on more of a personal level. Maybe not too personal, but you got to come in private lives with us, and the people that do support you, they love you so much, and they know you a lot more than so many people, if you have all these people. But it would have been.
No, that's not true. People that support her because they like her don't know her any better than the people that don't like her or don't support her because of her lies, her actions, her choices, her behaviors, and her very heinous crime that's going to follow her till long after she's gone. That is not true. You don't know somebody just because you like them and you favor them. You don't know somebody better just because you're a supporter of theirs. In fact, that makes you biased. That makes you more biased.
Great. I guess for me, which it doesn't matter anymore, I've learned to move on from that. I know that I have to accept that not all people's gonna agree, and we just have to move on. But I guess for me, I just know you and I know your heart, and I know that if
you know the heart of somebody who felt entitled and spoiled enough to take her mom's life, to put a man in prison and totally sleep fine at night, to use, lie, manipulate a husband, cheat, become an adulterer, get pregnant by somebody else in that marriage and have a baby out of wedlock, to trap somebody simply because he denied her before. She wants Ken for no other reason than he left her before and he was with another woman for 5.5 years. That's the only reason why she's hung up on Ken. This baby has nothing to do with that. And you know what tells us that? Her sneak peek of the season where she is going to therapy with Ken, and she says, I don't want him to stay because of a baby. I want him to want to be in this relationship. I want him to want to love me and to be here. That's very telling, because it's not about, hey, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about the baby. All I need for you to do from now on, Ken, is to be a good dad to your child. That's it. You don't need to be in love with Gypsy. It doesn't matter if you want to be with Gypsy or you are going to be with Gypsy regardless of what you want. The fact is, it's telling that in her mentality, in her headspace, she's focused solely on her obsession with wanting Ken to want her, to love her, to be with her. And that comes from a very deep-seated, insecure place. You should be in a very secure place before you decide to have a child with somebody or keep a child with somebody. The fact that this child is being used as a way to keep Ken and to get him where she wants him to be. The fact that the baby is used as a crutch of, oh, you can say whatever you want, but not about my innocent child. Your child is not a crutch. I've had 5 children, okay? I have given by CPS 2 other kids to raise, which I did. And I'm going to tell you right now, you using a child as a crutch because people don't like you on social media and they voice their opinions about your lies and your crime is disgusting and heinous. And there's no further misuse of your own child than you doing that to her before she's even born. Using her as a crutch.
People knew you the way I knew you, the whole world would support you. Like, I know that. Like, you have such a good heart.
No, she doesn't. Because if you have a good heart, you don't decide to murder your mother. If you have a good heart, you do not put your boyfriend, who you love for 3.5 years, in prison for the rest of his life. And then turn around and lie about him. If you have a good heart, you don't slander and defame your mom after she's gone. And completely obliterate her memory or any legacy. If you have a good heart, you have sympathy and compassion for your own husband, who has been there for you for over 2.5 years and been financially providing everything for you. You don't cheat on him and lie to him. And you certainly, under no circumstances, confide in an ex-boyfriend / pen pal that while you were in prison / fiance. You don't do that. That's the last person ever to confide in when you are married to somebody. The fact that you sought Ken out of everybody to talk to means that you had the intent to cheat the whole time and become an adulterer. So the fact that she can sleep at night being an adulterer, being somebody that caused somebody else to take their life by proxy, somebody else to be in prison for the rest of his life, the fact that her mom's life is completely gone and she feels so spoiled and entitled that nobody's going to touch me. And she has been taught time and time again that she will suffer no consequences. And if she does, it's barely a slap on the wrist. Gypsy's heart is a cold heart. It's not a good heart. And it's not the type of heart anybody like me would ever want to know. Because she can be a little devil over there making everybody think she's this innocent, sweet little thing that's only 4'11", and she's so kind and everybody's just misunderstanding her and all of this. But you ain't gonna fool me because I am smart and I am beautiful and I am kind, I'm compassionate, I'm loving, and I care about people. But I'm not falling for that shit. I've seen her own words against her own words, her own actions, choices, and behaviors too many times. I've seen her lie too many times. Misuse, discard of, and dispose of human beings too many times. Life is valuable to me. All life. If you feel entitled to take somebody's life over here, you can't say my baby is really important over here. Because you're not showing that you value life across the board. And that's my whole thing. This person doesn't value anybody's life. She does not value anybody's life at all. Not even her own child. Because she has done nothing but use this child as an excuse. She's documented her pregnancy, the whole journey, all of it. She even shows her ultrasound pictures. She puts it out there on TMZ. She sells exclusive photos to People Magazine and TMZ. She puts it on her social media, but the minute the baby is born, it's up. I'm not going to show her face because I want to protect her privacy and I want to protect her. It's a control. It's the same way how Look at cases like Jeffrey Epstein. He's facing some of the charges of the worst nature, okay? And he still, what does he do? Instead of saying, yeah, I'm going to sit there in front of a trial, I'm going to listen to all of my victim impact statements while these victims are reading it right in front of me, I'm going to sit here in front of a jury and have all of this stuff come to light. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the ultimate control, and I'm going to take my own life because I have the say at the end of the day. That's how people like her operate. It's a control. Because if she loved and cared about her followers and supporters, she would show them a picture of her baby, at least one. And she's a cute, tiny, itty-bitty baby with really lots of dark hair, just like Dee Dee. She doesn't want to show you because it's a control. It's a control tactic and strategy. I'll show you her picture, her 4D ultrasound picture. I'll put them on cookies and show you that. I'll show you my belly. I'll show off. But the moment she's born, I'll show you the back of her head while she's in my arms, but I'm not going to show you her face. And then sit there and say, well, I'm not going to put my child on social media and I'm going to step back from social media. That is just something to say, haha, fuck you. That's using your own baby more than anybody else could use your own baby.
No, anyways, more comments. But you have such a big heart, and you're so genuine, and you're so transparent. From the first conversation, I remember right before we got the phone call, you were like, don't be afraid to ask me anything. Mm-hmm. You know, always be honest with you, and that's what you have always been, to the point where, like, now I don't even feel like I want to or need to ask you certain questions. Like, those things don't even matter to me anymore, you know? I'm just like, who you are now is what matters. And I guess that's what I wish people saw. Like, they have to see you for who you are now. Like,
yeah.
Who she is now, since she got out of prison, is somebody who lies, uses Lifetime, uses universities, uses TMZ and People magazine to sell a narrative. She uses Ben Bella books to publish bullshit. She uses her own husband to lie, become an adulterer, cheat, have a baby out of wedlock. She uses Ken. She uses her own family. And she uses all of you people that are out here following her on social media as a way to say, oh, look, I'm famous enough. Now I got the notoriety. Give me the shows. Give me the deals. Give me the shows. Give me the deals. And pay me while you're at it. You are nothing more than a criminal, Gypsy. And unfortunately, you are a murderer. And that's all you're ever going to be till the day you pass away. I mean, even if you go away from social media in 5, 10, 15 years when somebody catches you coming out of a grocery store or you've passed away, it's just going to say, hey, remember that mommy murderer who lied all the time and disposed of everybody in her life when they no longer suited her needs or purpose? Yeah, hey, she's passed away now, and everybody's going to be like, what? Who? Yeah, it's always going to be that murderer. The girl who killed her mom. That's what it's going to be.
You never had the chance to be you before. You didn't own yourself. And you just, I don't know, I feel like I've seen such an amazing growth just from the time you got out of prison till now. And
thank you for your little teddy bear.
It's people's loss. I mean, that's what I've come to, for me, I feel like it's their loss. Because
oh, Bri, out of 330 million American citizens, you think it's everybody's loss to not be friends with her? Her. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a convicted murderer. Is Nick losing out because he's no longer in her life? Out of 330 million American citizens, I'm telling you right now, there's 330 million American citizens that would make a better friend than Gypsy. That are more honest, decent, good, beautiful, talented people than Gypsy. I have a whole community of them right here on TikTok and right here on YouTube that are better people to choose to be friends with and to know than her. Guaranteed. Wanting to be friends with a murderer is really fucked up out of everybody you can become friends with. Would you go seek out a rapist to become friends with them too? Because we already know that Gypsy's a pathological liar. We've caught her in every lie. And continue to do so.
now you have decided to go private. And I think it's the best decision, honestly. But it's going to be
control tactic.
Maybe you would have shared more with the world. Maybe, but they'll never know now. And it's because she was just talking. I would never just cut her off.
Oh, no. You're not going to sit here and try to Darvo and reverse this and say, no, she's going private because you guys won't let her. If she wasn't on TikTok wouldn't affect her, right? And she wouldn't be seeing or reading or hearing any of the negative stuff about her, right? She would just go on about her advocacy, about her legislative change, about her prison reform change. She would be going about her life, trying to do the right thing, trying to do good for other people, and selflessly giving back. Because inside her heart does not feel content. It feels remorseful. And she wants to right a wrong, but she doesn't. And that's why everybody sees her for exactly who she is and does not like her.
But they would never just.
This is how our
just given you a chance. If they would have just given you a chance, but at the end of the day, it's their loss.
No, it's not our loss. It's not my loss. Because out of everybody on this planet or in this country that I can know, out of 8 billion people and 330 million American citizens, Gypsy is very high on the bottom of my list of people.
But I'm so proud of you. Like, you're a bomb-ass mom. You are. I'm so proud of how you handled the, coming to the hospital, coming out, nobody being able to see you, getting pictures of you, which they're all still shocked about because, they've been able to do.
Well, it was past 1:30 in the morning and she didn't call TMZ and she didn't call People Magazine. And she's in Louisiana, not in Los Angeles, California. So, of course, they're not going to have cameramen there. I'm sure Lifetime was, because she's getting paid for that. So, of course, she's okay with putting everything out there in the world, not just on social media. She's taking a step back. Then she would stop doing the TV shows, too. She wouldn't do a season 2. So that's a contradiction in terms to say, I'm going to take a step back away from social media, but I'm still going to do a TV show over here on a mainstream cable network, and a mainstream website, and a mainstream news outlet, that I'm going to still work with them. That makes absolutely no sense. She didn't call TMZ and People Magazine. You think people are staked out at some random hospital in bumfuck Egypt, Louisiana, waiting for a murderer to give birth to her baby in the middle of the night? The only people that would ever be there are the people that are called to be there to get the photo opportunity to run and publish an article online or on a what news website or to print it in a magazine. And of course, they didn't do that. But how much do you want to guarantee the Lifetime cameras were with her?
To do that?
What was that? It was,
You did good.
it was at 1:30 in the morning, so I mean, it's not like people were staking out or anything. So
Good job, Aurora. I was like, I got you, Mom. Late at night.
yeah, it was late at night and it was very unexpected. So I mean, I doubt anybody was, lurking around the hospital at 1:30 in the mornings.
It worked out perfectly.
That would be creepy. But we're doing good. Yeah, I saw a couple of videos that are circulating around that there's this rumor that Christy's taking care of Aurora, which is completely untrue. I'm watching these videos, having 4 hours of sleep.
Okay, she talks about the baby and all that stuff. I'm going to skip forward.
Media.
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money on takeout every week. Done.
I'm getting back on track with Factor.
Fresh, never frozen meat.
In my mind, announce meant like People Magazine or something like that. And so I was like a hardcore no. I was like, no, we're not announcing. Why?
She's another control tactic. She's got to control everything with the baby, everything with Ken. And that's why she's a hard no. Because she wants to be the one to be able to make money off of that. And they're counting on the first glimpse of the baby and the birthing process and the going to the hospital and the after she gives birth, all of that. That's supposed to be a part of the show, and they're supposed to be promoting the show. So if they start showing a whole bunch of pictures of the baby right now, that's going to take away a reason for people to want to watch the show and to promote it.
Why? Like our family, our friends know. Why does the world have to know? And so it wasn't until he's like, I just want to post a picture on my Instagram. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, first of all, which one?
Controlling. That's his daughter. He can do whatever he wants with his pictures of his daughter. You better get over that shit real quick.
You're gonna let a magazine, a tabloid put it out, or you're like, absolutely not. And
No.
a lot of people were expecting that, but I knew you weren't going to.
No, and
Right. That right there just confirms that that's what Gypsy does. She calls TMZ and People Magazine, and of course she gives them the exclusive or sells the pictures. That's what these celebrities in Hollywood, that's how it goes. That's how they do it. Otherwise, how would they get the picture? How would they know the information? Because I can promise you, there are no paparazzis sitting outside of Britney Spears' house all the time. They're called there. They're called to the locations of where the celebrity is going to be at. And that's what Gypsy Rose is doing. She thinks she's a celebrity. I'm sorry, honey, to break it to you. You are infamous because you are a murderer.
Like, I mean, Christy, she was like, I got offended, but then, like, we had a conversation because she was like, you know, somebody's going to get it. Realistically, one day when y'all are out and about, somebody's going to get a picture of the baby. And I'm like, she's like, well, you should sell it. That way, if somebody's going to make money off of it, it should be you and not some rando.
That's exactly what celebrities do. Why let some paparazzi make $50,000 taking a picture of me or the first pictures of my baby when I can do it and make the money? They have been playing this game for 10 years. Do not let them fool you. This is not new to her being released out of prison. This has been in the works since the moment she got arrested.
And I got really offended and a little upset with her over it. And I'm like, absolutely not. There is a huge difference between if somebody takes a picture where I'm not even aware, we're at the park, let's just say we're at the park, somebody snaps a picture of us walking through the park. I can't control what other people do. You know, that's just the unfortunate reality of it. But I can control what I do, and I make the choice to not exploit my child. So.
Right. And I know.
But that's exactly what you guys have done. When you decide to take on a contract with Lifetime and allow them to film, that's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. So don't sit here and act like you putting pictures on Instagram or selling pictures to People Magazine or to TMZ, that is different than what you're doing with Lifetime, because it's not.
So at the end of the day, she obviously never meant it that way.
But the way it came out was just
that would have, yeah, exactly. That's what the world would have viewed it as as well. Mm-hmm. And I know, like, I've seen, you know, some people saying, you know, take this. I guarantee you, she's gonna become a mommy, a vlogger. I'm like, she's not.
No, I don't have any interest in that.
No.
I mean, I feel like there's books and everything. There's enough information about parenthood, and children don't come with manuals, so there's nothing that I could put out.
I'm sure your mom said the same thing about you, Gypsy.
You can do that and have all the followers. You know, it's not my life, and it's like I always said, it's not real life. So I accepted it if it was gone for good. I have Ken to thank for.
You didn't accept it. The only reason why you took a whole bunch of stuff down from TikTok, but yet you still post promotional stuff, knowing that it's going to be banned on January 19th, although Donald Trump takes office the very next day and probably will reinstate it if that does happen. You would just permanently delete it now and just say, I'm not doing anything public anymore anyway. Lifetime has their own TikTok. Lifetime has their own YouTube channel. Lifetime has their own website. They are a mainstream network, a whole network. They don't need you to have anything to be able to promote your show on their network. They can do that all on their own.
For helping me get it back.
Awesome.
Because I'm
okay, we're going to skip that.
Went and he never responded to my message to him. But his mom and I are still on good terms. Joy is a really sweet woman, and so.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there, Gypsy. You have some audacity to sit here and act self-righteous and better than other people. You're a murderer. You are better than no one.
Y'all heard that? That was a lie. You see, and that was something that
having a kid did not change that.
But you know, I don't like to say anything without a fact. And so not just because, you know, like.
You don't like to say anything without a fact. What did you just do at the whole beginning of this live when you said you have such deep hatred for Nina? You sat there and said that she did this and she did that and that she reached out to Gypsy originally and did all this stuff to her to have her in her pocket, when that is not true. Not only do you know that that's not true, you purposely put out a lie because you hate her. That doesn't make it okay. That does not make it okay, but that just shows you the hypocrisy of yourself. Do you actually hear yourself? You don't put out anything unless it's the truth. Unless you verify or corroborate it. You don't put out anything unless You know it's real without knowing it's fact. But it's okay for you to do it to Nina because she covers Gypsy. And she doesn't cover her favorably. So it's okay because you hate her. Make that make fucking sense. You completely twisted the whole beginning of this when it was Gypsy who reached out to Nina asking her for advice. She gives it. She was very transparent with her followers too when Gypsy messaged her. It was not the other way around. It was not her going to Gypsy, wanting to have her in her pocket so she can have the fresh tea daily from Gypsy. No. But you only put out facts, right, Bri?
But I did call that other bookstore, the one that you had the book signing at, and they actually had, you had sold out basically the night of the book signing. So they said that.
See, the problem with this is it's 46 minutes long, and this could have been less than 10 minutes if she would have just streamlined her questions instead of using all of these speech impediment vocal disfluencies, and she keeps saying, now I know there's a difference between saying, girl, hey, what's up? Like, hey, how you doing? All of that. But going, girl, on these TikTok streets and saying stuff like that constantly, repetitively, over and over in a 46-minute long live, and to constantly put all of, it's not even filler. Filler are words in descriptive, emotion type of descriptive words that bulk out a sentence or a paragraph or transport you visually, emotionally, and that bulks it out to make it a little bit longer. When you say like, and like, oh my god, and like, totally, yeah, and like, those are vocal disfluencies, which is a type of speech impediment, actually, because what you're doing is you're not, see, this is why it's so important to have, when you can't do that, you can't streamline what it is you're trying to say or what conversation you're trying to have at this moment, or with a second party or a third party, whatever. If you would have written it down exactly what questions you wanted to ask and what key points you wanted to get to, or what sub key points you wanted to get to, you would have been able to do this a whole lot better. But it's those things that make you go off topic, make you forget, make you go on and on and on with all of these vocal disfluencies. And that to me is just annoying, because you just wasted over 35 minutes of everybody's life.
They had gotten a shipment in 2 days later, and so they had more than enough. Like, I pretended like I was a customer coming to buy one, just because I wanted to see if it was true before I commented to anybody on it. I don't want to just say something, but that's good. I know that the book meant a lot to you.
I just got done signing all of those book plates.
These are Gypsy's medical records, and I've been going over them, right? I've been going over them. Right here. These are only the first 2 pages. Both physical and mental developmental delay, paraplegic, needs assistance for ADLs. Has some difficulty with fine motor control, can write and feed self, but uses a sippy as sometimes hands give out. How can you hold a bottle or a sippy if your hands give out? It says right here, GT tube for FTT, failure to thrive, and difficulty swallowing. She receives 80% of her nutrition through the G tube. Wheelchair bound. Couple of papular, flesh-colored MM-sized lesions noted. She has a very high upper palate, which causes issues with speech, swallowing, and hyper salivation. She did not have all of her salivary glands. She had the excision of the submandibular. The mandible is here, submandible. glands for hypersalivation. You have thousands of salivary glands. Thousands of salivary glands. You didn't have all your salivary glands taken out. You had an excision of the submandible salivary gland because you had hypersalivation. And it goes on. And this is the first time I've actually gone through the medical records. And this I will credit Fancy Maselli for, because printed out, look at that. It's all Gypsy's medical records. What I'm going to tell you is that I'm only on 2 pages noting the lies and inconsistencies and how she made doctors believe that she was the one who was sick. With her mother there, yes. But they were grifting, because without these medical records reflecting she has some kind of need for Social Security income or Social Security disability income, they wouldn't approve her. So this is all for a Social Security check. That's my opinion. That's what I believe. And nobody is going to change my mind.
I had signed 2,000 of them.
Holy book plates? What's that?
So she only has 2,000 signed copies of the book. And I have a copy of the book. I did not buy it. Somebody had sent it to me. And I've already listened to it for free. Somebody sent it to me through Audible as well for free, and I sent it to somebody else for free. And I've listened to it already twice, and I have noted so many inconsistencies. But that's a video for another day, going over the review of that. I'm going to wait till everything kind of quiets down and then go over the points that I noticed, because I noticed a lot of things other people don't. But I'm going to skip this part because this is boring.
I wanted to ask you, how has Nubia
We don't need to sit here and listen to her talk about the book.
How has Nubia changed my life?
So that's why I wrote just Gypsy Rose. So.
Yeah, that's right. I talked to you too much lately, but I know that you talked about wanting to go to cosmetology school. Did you decide whether you think you're going to do that?
I want to. I'm looking at a couple of places. It'll be after parole, though.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously there's no schools and cutoff.
Right.
So after I'm off parole, I'm going to go tour a couple of the schools and see which one I want to do.
Yeah, there might be one not too far away from like Ken's area.
Yeah, probably. I just have to kind of
That you know from the private lives and stuff, like people that you've gotten to know are all coming down here.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
Woo! I know Christy said, I think the show will definitely be on at that time. So, she said we can, the night that the show comes on, we can watch on the deck.
They're talking about having a big supporter watch party for season 2.
Have a big watch party.
I know, big old watch. I'm glad that I was able to be a voice for you when, the world shut you out. And
That's not true. In the first couple months of her getting out, in fact, I was fighting the tide, telling people, hey, don't trust a murderer. Don't trust a convicted murderer who's done nothing but lie. Do not trust her. She just got out of prison and went to live with somebody that she's married to and doesn't even know. That right there tells you that she ain't right. Something ain't right. She should not be making her own decisions if that's the kind of decisions she's making, to constantly hurt other people and then dispose of them. Humans are not disposable, but to Gypsy they are. So you have expressed so many times how being a voice for her and being a supporter of hers, how the last year you have neglected your house, your husband, your life, your bills, yourself. And that's sad for you because you've let it override your entire day and entire life. And what has she done for you in return? You're friends with a famous, infamous murderer? That's a title that you find proud to be a friend of somebody like that? Would you want to be friends with Jeffrey Dahmer? Would you want to be friends with Jeffrey Epstein if he was alive? Would you want to be friends with Ted Bundy? No. Would you believe them? No. Would you give them TV shows? No. Would you follow them on social media? No. You want to go have a party with P. Diddy? No.
I know all the people that have been by my side since the beginning, or even newer ones, or I'm glad that they've been able to go to bat for you, because you always couldn't, being on parole makes that hard too. So I don't regret it. I know it's been hard some days, but to be honest, like, man, I've learned so much this year. Like, I was writing down that the other day, just like everything that I gained from this past year. It's been like probably one of the craziest years of my life, and like in some ways, this like full of like so much hate but so much love at the same time. You know, because I mean, where there's hate, there's usually love, and vice versa. And you just gotta take the good with the bad, and I don't regret it at all.
No, that's not how that goes. There's good and bad, yeah, but love and hate are not opposite of each other. Love and indifference are opposite of each other. If you have that much hate in your heart, especially that much hate for Nina, there's something wrong with you, because you have the capacity of hate in your heart. A lot of good-hearted people don't have that capacity. And that's the difference that you people can't understand, because you're not good people and you're not good-hearted.
I know that I stand on the right side of things, and that's what's important to me. And I got to see you for you, which I think that people did miss out on. And so it might have been hard, but girl, don't ever think of it like that, though, because
if that's the case, then why hasn't Bri spent the last year? Like, she even started attacking Becca Scoops and all of these other people. If you so much as even misspeak a little bit in a video, oh my God, you're a liar, you're this, you're that, da da da. If all of the things that Bri is saying is correct, and all of these people are bad just because they happen to all be anti-crime, not Gypsy supporters, why hasn't she used her platform to prove that, to show the facts, to show how people are wrong with the facts, with the receipts? How come she hasn't shown us that we're wrong about Gypsy? And in fact, if people were wrong about her lies and her inconsistencies, how come Gypsy hasn't sued Nina or me or anybody else? I've been here since October of 2023 when I did my first video with a piece of the trailer that was upcoming that they had put out on Lifetime on their YouTube channel, promoting the prison confessions, where she lies and says that Nick R-worded her. And I remember watching the trial where she says under penalty of perjury that he did not R-word her. So that was my first video. Of course, it gets tagged after 2.5 weeks. I had to take it down. I had to delete it. I had to edit out and bleep out the R-word, and then I had to repost it. But yeah, I've been here the entire time, and I've never flipped. I've never backtracked. I've never done any of those things. And I've covered her life. I've covered her actions, choices, and behaviors, and her words, but I've also exposed a lot of lies that other people have not caught. Especially all the lies surrounding the Aaliyah Woodmansey. Because she actually lies and tells investigators during her investigation tape that Aaliyah, she's always been a bully to me. And then she also says in one documentary in 2017 that Aaliyah was the one who told her about the Christian dating for free website. And that is essentially why she met Nick, is because Aaliyah told her about it, when that's not true. If you look at her private messages on Facebook between her and Aaliyah is actually warning her against that. When Gypsy says, I met a guy, online, and she's like, hey, you shouldn't do that, because that's like, you need to play it safe and be careful, because a lot of people are not who you think they are or who they say they are. They can be somebody else entirely. And she has also blamed Aaliyah for sending messages that she has sent and all kinds of other things. So if I was catching on to that in October of 2023, I was just telling people, hey, she's going to be released supposedly at the end of the year. Don't trust a murderer, and don't trust somebody who is a known murderer, who is lying on national television and on the internet, who used the internet and social media in the commission of a crime at that. So that's just what I got to say about it. But like I'm just going to keep reiterating, if she was this good person and everybody else is just liars and just so full of shit, why aren't they coming with the facts and the receipts? Why aren't they coming with she says this about Gypsy, but here, let me show you how that's wrong? Because she can't. And if all these people, including myself, are wrong about her lies, why haven't we been sued?
Girl, like, everybody knows on these TikTok streets, like, even the people that, like, I haven't got along with in the past, I've made amends with a lot of those people, and they were like, that's one thing we can say about you is you've never, like, wavered from where you stand, and
neither have I. Ever. Not once.
no matter what, even people that don't like me, they're like, well, at least I can say one thing, you're a good friend. I'm like,
Yes, very good friend.
like, and that's important to me, you know, my integrity and my loyalty.
Integrity and loyalty have nothing to do with friendship. In fact, I mean, they do, but not in the sense that you're saying it in. Being a good friend doesn't prove that you have loyalty and integrity, because sometimes being a good friend is doing the right thing. That's the hard thing. Like actually telling your friend when they're wrong, and telling your friend when they're doing something like lying. And you would not sit here and tell your friend to lie to their parole officer or to make excuses, okay? Knowing that that can easily have a warrant from a judge in a flash to get the stuff from a server, from Facebook, or to get it from the data right from Google or right from your cell phone carrier. Okay, you can delete whatever you want, but social media and the internet, yeah, that stuff's all saved on servers. And yes, law enforcement can access it because Google, Facebook, Instagram, Meta, Threads, all of it, they work with the government and law enforcement. So when you do anything online, criminal or not, yeah, they're going to give that stuff over like that. That's how law enforcement is so easily able to find people by their IP address.
So I'll choose that and get, you know, beat up a few times a day. But actually it hasn't been too bad. People have, well, you know, my team of people, let me tell you, they protect me so much. I'm so thankful for them. They
If you're a good person who's doing the right thing, you don't need protection. Do you think you're the president of the United States or something? You got to have security and you got to have protection? Like, what the fuck are you doing over there that you need protection from?
I don't see anything. I rarely see anything bad. And I know there's bad stuff out there, but they protect me. So just like I tried to protect you as much as I could, you know, they do the same for me and for you. So
Good. I mean,
That's the whole thing. Gypsy never asked you to be her protector. You took that upon yourself to play that role. So you have this false sense of self-importance. That you have this false sense of friendship and connection and bond to her. And the amount of ass kissery that's going on in this whole entire thing is astonishing, because real friends don't act like that or talk like that. In fact, real friends can be very blunt and honest with each other even when they know it's not really kind or favorable.
it's helpful to have like a good community.
Yes,
to
we're a
lean
team,
on.
girl. That's why we made it through that book signing, girl. We was a team that night.
I know, y'all
We
were
were good.
awesome.
I know. We just wanted you to have a good, book signing, just like I wanted you to have a good.
Don't even go there. Don't even talk about that book signing event, because girl, I'm not even going to talk about the bullying, the anti-bullying. I'm not even going to talk about... You guys made that into something that it shouldn't have been.
Good birth. Like, that made me so happy that y'all were able to get through the entire experience without any worries, you know? And, you know, you always worry, like, all it takes is a nurse, even a nurse, to, like, do something stupid. And
Yeah, no nurse is going to do that. Going to take a picture of her baby or put information out there. That is Gypsy's own relatives, her own cousin, Lifetime themselves that do that. Yes, I have one of her cameramen, yes, and his spouse.
A thing. The epidural worked absolutely like.
And that there, you guys have already heard the part where she goes on to talk about her birth experience and how, well, you know, Gypsy is 4'11". Okay, I'm 5'10". There's a huge difference there. She had a girl. Girls tend to be sometimes smaller than boys on average. All my boys were over 9 pounds and both my girls were just shy of 8. So yeah, that's depends on how much her baby weighed. If she wasn't quite 6 pounds or quite 5 pounds, you know, she was a very small baby, but Gypsy is very small. The fact that she had an epidural, that, you know, that's just what she's saying. We don't know what's true. We don't know what's real when it comes to any of that. That's just based on what Gypsy said. All I know is what Gypsy said is never to be trusted, because everything that Gypsy has said has always been to deflect what you're looking at and thinking away from her behaviors and what she's really doing. And she's done that her whole life, and she has gotten away with it. Her mom has allowed her to get away with it. And her mom, knowing that she's mentally not capable, has oftentimes allowed her to think it's okay. A lot of these behaviors. But I digress. We don't really need to go over her birth experience and all of that. But this whole thing to me is just a way for her to try to prop Gypsy up and make her look better and make themselves look self-righteous. And she had the nerve to attack me for something her own cousin took from her own private Facebook. If you put it on the internet, doesn't matter if it's private or public. It doesn't matter. You put it on the internet. All of the internet is public. And gave it to some creators, and I got it by email and covered it 6 days later. Okay? But to sit here and to tell anybody and they're condescending, yeah, I am condescending. I can do whatever. Because you know why? I don't choose to be a murderer, a liar, a thief. I don't use people. I don't cheat. I'm not an adulterer. And I don't behave that way. I do not discard and dispose of people. I don't sit here and lie about people after they're deceased. I don't put people in prison or cause people to commit. I don't do these things. I have every right to have the condescending nature that I have, and I have every right because I am better than that. I am worthy. I am more deserving. And for people like Gypsy to sit here and to mimic and copy that whole, oh no, we do not behave that way. We do not do that. Like, we're not going there, and that's just not okay. And that is just not okay for people to behave that way. You can act self-righteous, but you are far from righteous. But as far as me being condescending, I survived cancer. Ain't nothing gonna fucking take me out. I have every right to be condescending because I know my own hurt and I know my own mind. I know my own intelligence. I know the people I love in my community and my friends, and I know that I am an empathetic, sympathetic, compassionate, good person. That can't be said for the likes of you two. But with that said, those are my thoughts. You let me know what your thoughts are down below. I love you all and have a fantastic night. If you want, send me all the love you can. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Stick around. Give me a chance. You might like what I have to say.